Welcome to another Flutter video. In this video, let's master how to work with ListView widget. You can use the ListView widget when you want to display a list of items. For example, you have a list of products and what you want to display, so when a user click on it, you can go to a detail page. For that, you can use the ListView widget. ListView widget allows you to have items and then scroll to see more items when you don't have enough space in your render box. A key difference between a list view widget and a column widget is that a list view widget will fill all the cross direction. So when you add items inside of your list view, this will be stretched and fill all the available space. And another key difference is that the list view widget gives you the ability to scroll and see more items inside of your list. And when you are using a column widget, if you have more items than we have space for it, you will get an exception. So if you want to follow along in this tutorial series, create a new Flutter project and call this Flutter underscore ListView widget. And then inside of your project, create a new subfolder inside of your lib folder and create a file named home underscore page dot. So inside of this file, you can create a stateful widget or a stateless widget. And then inside of your build method, return a scaffolding widget. And then for this body, just call this default name constructor for your list view widget. So inside of this list view widget, we have a few properties that you can use. We have the first property is the scroll direction. This will define if you have a horizontal scroll view or vertical scroll view. Right here, you can see the values defined to axis dot vertical. So this list view will scroll from top to bottom and bottom to top. After that, we also have right here the padding property. And we also have other properties that you can use to customize your list view widget. But here we have right here the children property. This is the same properties you find inside of other widgets that take a children as an argument. So right here, you can use this widget right here, ListTile widget. This is a good widget to use in combination with list view widget. This is because you have now control on how to display items inside of your list view widget by using one of the properties. You can see right here we have the leading property, the title, the subtitle, and the trailing, and all of them are widgets. You also have some properties to apply customization for color, text color, and also changing the shape of your list style. And you also have right here the on tap, on long press, and on focus events. So for the leading problem, you can use right here the icon widget, or also you can call the image widgets right here to display in an image. So let's use an icon widget right here, call the icons and dot, and let's call the map, and also specify a title. This can be a text widget or any other widget. Let's say for the text, this will be title. Let's also add some subtitle. And for the text, this will be subtitle. And also for the trailing, you can use again an icon widget, call the icons class dot and call the chevron underscore right. So save everything. You can see right here we have now an icon for the leading, a title, subtitle, and also a trailing widget right here. So if you comment a subtitle, you can see now you have a different widget. The same thing if you comment the leading. Now you just have the title and this trailing widget. So as you can see, this widget is very dynamic. So now let's place more items right here. And now let's see how we can scroll. So for that, I will constrain this list view widget because by default it will fill all this horizontal space and vertical space as well. So let's add a container widget. You can use a container widget or a size box widget. I'm using a container widget because I will specify a margin. So I'll use agilely set.all, and for the value will be 4 pixel. So now let's also constrain the height. Let's say 200 pixel for the height. So now to see the fourth item, you have to scroll. So right here we are able to scroll, but all the items are rendered all at once. So use this list view default name constructor when you have a small size list of widgets that you want to display. As you can see right here, I hard coded all this ListTile widget, but you can come right here, instead of using this hard code list, you can use right here the list dot generated method, and here you specify how many items you want to display, and right here you have to call an anonymous function, and then you can also have to provide an index as an argument. This index will allow you to iterate inside of your list. So right here we have to return a widget, so return a column widget or container widget actually. So call a container widget. Let's specify the width, this will be 200, and the height will also be 200. And I want to add a color for the background color property. So right here I will create a new variable. This will call it random number. This will be equal to the random class. Make sure you import your class random from the math class. So if you don't see right here an imported for math, make sure it's imported for math. So add a semicolon right here. So now we want to display so-called the color and use this method from RGBO. So this stands for red, green, blue, and opacity. So for the opacity value will be 1, and for each color, let's call this random number dot and call this method next int, and for the max value this is 255. So now just copy right here and replace it here and here. So now when we save everything, you can see now you have a list with different container with different background color. Let's comment this property. So let's make this list view widget fill all the available space. And if you want to add some margin between each item or add a gap, you can come right here inside of your container, call the margin property, and call this edgely set.all, and let's say for the value will be 4 pixel. So now we have a gap of 4 pixel among each item inside of your list. So this is how we can work with ListView default name constructor. Now let's learn how to work with the builder name constructor. So for that, I will reuse this random class right here. So I will place it right here. And then I will have to call the item builder. This is a function that will take an anonymous function. We have to provide the context and also the indirection variable or the argument. So right here, let's call this item counter, and now let's move this variable right here inside of our item builder right here, and just copy this container widget, remove it from here. Let's paste it after this random number right here, and now let's delete all this children property so we don't have this children property. Now let's format our code. So here you have to specify the item count is for this, how many items you want to generate inside of your item builder. So let's say we want to generate 20 items, so you specify the 20 right here. You can also say you want to specify one item, so say if you see one item will be generated. So if you want 30 items, add value 30 right here, and you can see we have 30 items. But usually you have right here your list, and you have your length property specifying how many items you have inside of your list. So let's leave it at 20. Save everything. Let's format our code. So now that you learn how to work with the builder name constructor, let's see how we can create an horizontal list view. So for that, you can call right here the scroll direction. This will take the axis class dot, and the value will be horizontal. So save everything. Now let's constrain our container again. So just uncomment this height property right here. And you can see you have now your horizontal list view. And if you want to add a separator, so you can come right here. Instead of using this builder name constructor, you can call this separated. So besides of now specifying this item count and item builder, you also have to specify your separator builder right here. This will take a function the same way as we do with the item builder. So call this arrow function right here. We'll provide the context and an index. And right here you can call this size box widget. Let's say with the width of 10 pixel of gap among each item. As you can see right here, we have now more gaps in each item. So now you have your horizontal list view and also a vertical list view. You also learn how to use default name constructor, build name constructor, and now separated name constructor. So now I want to show you one problem you will find when you are working with a list view widget inside of a column widget. So for that, let's wrap our container widget right here with a column widget. And now after this container widget, let's call our list view widget, call the children property, and let's say now for the children, let's call the ListTile and just specify the title, call a text widget, and then for this will be title. So give it a comment right here, copy and paste this ListTile a few more times. So now let's format our document. Now let's comment this height property. Oh, let's leave it as it is first. So now just save everything. Load it, reload your app. As you can see now, we're not able to move. This is because now we are getting an exception. This problem is because this list view widget will try to be as big as possible and fill out the available space. But as you can see, we have now inside of a column widget, so this will overflow this widget. So to solve this problem, you can come right here, select the option to wrap with the expanded widget. So now your list view widget will be as big as possible, but expanded widget will prevent it from overflowing its parent column widget right here. So now reload your app. As you can see now, we are able to scroll, and now we have two lists. We have a horizontal and a vertical list. So let's say now we want to comment this height property. So now you have to come right here, wrap with a flex container. Instead of having this fixed height, you can call right here the flex. Let's say this will be flex 2 times. And now for the bottom one, you can call the flex property and say this will be 4 times bigger than the top list view. So save everything, reload. As you can see, now we are able to size the items using your ratio right here. Let's say this will be 6 times bigger than the top one, and this will decrease the size of your top of your list view widget. So this is it for this video. Give it a like and subscribe to get notification when new videos are coming out. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.